this is one of the truly great events where we, as officials, get to hear voices. I know we do that at our public meetings every month, but this is really a great opportunity for us. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Greg Adams, former trustee, and your host.
Deputy Mayor Phil D'Orazio, very happy to be here, and I want to thank Heidi and Greg for putting this together. As John said, it's very important to hear from you guys. I just look around, see who comes out, who cares about the community, who's here to help you. So very happy to be here.
Good morning, everyone. Louis Marino, Mayor from the Village of Portchester. Very excited to be here today also with a great department. Thank you.
Good morning, Chief of Portchester Police. We've been coming after night since we got more than our current position.
Don Roddy, we have elected officials.
Yep, all right, Town Councilman.
Okay.
You were there to represent us, you were there to work for us, and so, and then I called the chief office. You still got an email that was old on your phone, and I still haven't got no answer. Barbara, I think Barbara, Police Barbara, who, after I left, he called me up on my phone, he said, I'll take care of it. So he did, so I appreciate, him following up on it, because it was narrowed down to the last day that I needed some answers.
Monday morning, I live directly across the street. As Carrie said, this is the third time I have mentioned this. Why is it that everybody else has to follow the schedule? Because this garbage is not supposed to go out until dusk on Sunday evening.
There are elections. My husband is generally assigned to JFK School. And as you all know, and we just heard, there is no parking. We have to be there as election inspectors as early as 5 o'clock in the morning. So I'm happy to hear that there is a pilot permit program, and I'd like you to work with the Westchester County Board of Elections to see about getting a permit for those of us that work these elections. It's hard enough getting up and getting somewhere at 5 o'clock in the morning, and then there's nowhere to put your car. So I'd just like to see if perhaps that could be added to an allowable permit for those of us that work for the Board of Elections. Thank you. And speaking of quality of life in the village, I don't know if this is a municipal problem, but people do not clean up behind their dogs. Sometimes you can't see it. You can't see it, or you focus on getting in your car and getting where you have to go. And there you are. And there you are. So that's my quality of life issue.
It's everywhere. There's nothing that makes me more upset when I walk my dog and I'm walking in a minefield. It's people have, that's just blatant disregard for a neighbor.
Yes, it
That's
is.
what that is. That's maybe an accident, you don't have a bag with you, something happens.
Safety with their dogs and picking up, and so if you go into Rytown Park, there's still signs up that say, please pick up after your dog. There's a nice silhouette of a Labrador Retriever, and it says, protect Rytown Park's environment.
Based upon Portchester's needs, that there might be a small percentage of affordable housing units that could be given a residential preference, but it's not a guarantee, because in the end, it's not up to us and it's not up to the developer.
Yes.
But loud voices ring clear. If there's anywhere that needs a residential preference, we agree, Portchester is a prime candidate, but it's not really up to us. We'll try.
No, understood.
I want to point out that our hands are somewhat tied, as Stuart said, by county, state, as well as, I believe, federal laws that govern how affordable housing is allocated within the region. And
reaching out to, even if it's local preference, that the people that are eligible to join that lottery are equal in terms of the share of different race and ethnic groups within the entire region. So if we do it based on like a 15% local preference, we're not giving one group any larger benefit than a different group, is what we're looking into right now. So we're trying to see how we can help the residents get into the units that are built here while also not having a discriminatory effect, which is important under housing
So
law.
you're saying there's no step by step-by-step procedure now? Because you have buildings like the Castle, Magnolia, whatever that is on South Range Street, starts with an M.
Magellan.
Yes. So are you saying right now, there's no procedure? I'm a social worker for Westchester County.
Yeah.
You are 100% correct.
Yeah, and I've been on the phone, and either A, nobody knows what I'm talking about, B, I can't help you, and, you know, it's a frustrating experience for me, I can imagine the client, so I wanna be, you know, accurate when I say, I'm not finding any procedure to do this with.
Correct. You're correct.
Okay.
The Village of Portchester made the choice to require a 10% set aside for affordable housing in all development, new development, in 2020. There is no requirement in the previous zoning code for that, which would have been at use when the Castle, the Mariner, when the Magellan was approved for site plan at the Planning Commission, when Port Maine was approved for Liberty Square and Westchester Avenue, when Station Lofts was approved, that was all old code. There was no mandate. Now keep in mind, there was no mandate for affordable housing, and there was no mandate for parking. So although the form-based code has been a volatile hot potato over the last 4 years, the form-based code codified an affordable housing set-aside, and it codified a parking ratio that has been trimmed and changed over the last few years, trying to meet a lot of the demand from the public outcry versus the buy-down opportunity that was originally in it to reduce that one-to-one. I think the board has done a fine job, especially with our new planner, in kind of honing where we need to be with parking. But yes, so although I do agree with you, and you are 100% correct, that there is no process for these buildings that you might be looking to lease up for someone, the new buildings will have a process that you will be able to go to. Like Greg said, there will be a lottery.
Our residents. My only job as a trustee is to help the residents. I don't care, to tell you the truth, about what else is going on. My job is to work for you people. And if we can't help you in this matter, I don't know what we can do. You know, the state helps us. We're very lucky to have Steve and Shelley, you know, at our beck and call. Ken Jenkins, always ready to help. And George Latimer, the congressman, showed up at our board meeting the other night. The guy's still working for Portchester. But there's nothing else we can do to ease this overcrowding except, you know, have a great code enforcement staff, great building department, and keep the momentum going with the police department to try to get these bad actors to stop doing what they're doing. But in doing so, we're creating another layer of issues that now people have no place to live. It's a circle. It's a regular circle that we can't get out of. It's very disheartening as a trustee not to be able to say that, wave that magic wand like somebody said before. This building here is going to have all portraits of people. You just can't do it, and it's just really depressing that we can't get it done. Sharon?
I want to say thank you. I do understand that the village is taking steps to monitor a little bit more closely the absentee landlords. The absentee landlords in this village is critical. And I lived there as a child. And when I was a child, every structure, the owner lived there. We knew every landlord, we knew all their tenants, we even knew who the dog belonged to. Now that's not the case. So that's, you know, you have all of this of overcrowding, but I'm understanding, because I see the letters that come out, I'm understanding that you are attacking this problem, and I do want to say thank you, because it's a big problem. I know we have a long way to go, but at least we're getting started.
If I can address that, I'm sorry, if I can address that. Under the village manager's guidance, we put together what's called a rental registry for two-family homes. Our biggest problem, and again, Mike, if you have a better answer than I, please jump in. Our biggest problem is now with the three-family homes becoming five-family homes or two-family, because those buildings are inspected. I believe it's every 12 to 18 months, Mike? So they're on a regular rotation of being inspected. It's the two-family homes that we can't get into that the majority of the bad actors are committing these bad acts. So what the village manager came up with, along with the mayor and the rest of the board, is mostly the village manager. I want to give him full credit on this, to tell you the truth. We didn't do anything people think it was a good idea. So I don't wanna take, I take a lot of people's credit. I'm not gonna take this one.
New police officers, bilingual, so they understand the community. And parking, I will still fight it. After March, I mean, I'm more than happy to put it to say 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, I don't have a problem. Like I said, I fight, and former trustee, you remember, I was the only one voted against it. I was the only one. I don't wanna see people.
Bring greetings on behalf of Fred Griffin, our Vice President, also our Education Committee Chair. As you know, he has a long history working in the school system. So his question was regarding the old Horton School gym. I understand there's supposed to be a renovation. Wanted to know about the status of that, and then also the status of the Youth Bureau. I understand that there's a vacancy for the director position in that role, so Fred would love to.
I think the village manager has some updates. We just received some updates on the gym. He's probably the best one.
Sure. So we'll start with the gym. The old Horton School Village Hall gym was put out for bid for a restoration. Those bids actually came back on Thursday. So we are vetting the proposals. We received valid bids on the face so far for general contracting, HVAC, and plumbing. We need to rebid the electrical contract for that. So during that time, we are vetting the other proposers, and so long as they're bonds and insurance, I did get one confirmation this morning actually that the general contractor is good to go and is confident to be able to keep their price. So we're just gonna wait to hear that same kind of good news from the HVAC proposer and the plumbing proposer. Our hope is that we'll be able to put the award resolutions in front of the Board of Trustees for March to start getting that ball rolling and start moving forward with that facilities restoration. Apropos that State Senator Mayer and Assemblyman Otis are in the room. Together they have, through the dormitory funding at the state, they have given us $750,000 towards this project, which right now is on track to cost around $3 million. So it's a significant assistance to the village, and we're very appreciative of their generosity and always keeping Port Chester on their mind. Additionally, we were awarded $2.7 million in grant funding through former Congressman Joel Bowman, through the federal government, which we believe is HUD money, through his community improvement grants that he's able to provide. We know that now sitting Congressman George Latimer is in that seat. George Latimer has been able to secure, to this point, without complete confirmation, that we will have at least $2 million coming from the federal government, so long as all the other money from the federal government comes through. But not to be outdone, your own Board of Trustees have approved a bond resolution of $3 million federal money. So at worst case scenario is that none of that federal money comes through and we use more village money to complete the project. Best case scenario is we don't use any village money to do the project and it's all grant. And middle case scenario is we reimburse the village coffers with the federal money if it's delayed and it comes through at a later date. So that's very much on its way. It's probably the closest it's ever come to fruition, and that's because the board has had the vision and the foresight to say this is a community benefit. We know that there is a finite amount of square footage that the school district is able to provide for recreation and youth programming, as well as adult programming and other community use. The network of the Archdiocese for different churches around the village has changed very much. It's not so much of an open door as it used to be back in the 70s and 80s and even the 90s. It's a lot more closed door for their own proprietary programming. So we need a space for athletics, for art, for education, for at-risk youth, for community organization, for
Spanish
government. Sure, Spanish instruction, anything that the community may be able to utilize for that. As far as the Youth Bureau, the Village of Port Chester is in the final stages of its interview process for a new director of the Youth Bureau. The Youth Bureau is very important to the village. The board has put their good foot forward in making sure that the Youth Bureau is going to be able to meet the needs of the village's at-risk youth. The position will now be a full-time role as the director of the Youth Bureau, and we are integrating the Youth Bureau with our Recreation Department in order to expand the Youth Bureau's access not only to administrative assistance, but to contacts, programming, and other ways around the state that it can help excel what it had offered in the past and enhance the programs that we're already looking to continue with.
Thank you.
I have a follow-on to that. With the new administration, we all hear that funds are being delayed and sometimes withdrawn from municipalities. I know money flows from the federal to the state to local municipalities. Other than what you just mentioned, are there any other fundings that we are concerned that may have or will be pulled, and what type of programs would be affected?
Sure. So up until yesterday, I was concerned that the $250,000 that the village was given through the same grant process that Congressman Bowman and Latimer are in charge of, back when it was Congressman Mondaire Jones, he gave the village $250,000 towards a geothermal heating and energy system for Village Hall. I got a letter yesterday saying that money is secure.
She was there with me. Steve Otis, who always, when I need him, from the constituents that come to me for help, they're there for me. Joan Thomas, who worked with me on a wellness check. Yes. We got some work done there, and we still check on the lady, but I think the village people that when I come to you, good and all of them, when I come to you, you answer the things that I need to be answered.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, Greg, can I just say one thing? I'm sorry, Trustee Allen and myself, and we have another event to go to. I want to thank you for taking the time out of your day, for allowing us to come here, listen to you, hopefully answer some of your questions. Hopefully you'll provide some help for you down the road. But I just thank you for having us, and again,
Thank you.
if you need anything from me, Martha, she'll have my email. I gave it to one person here already, a very simple email. I'll answer you, I promise you. See me around the town, you got a question, feel free to talk to me. I'll help you in any way I can. Thank you guys, and thank you, Greg and Hattie.
Have a great weekend.
All right, talk to you soon.
I pointed out, I just want to point out a couple of things that's happening here in Portchester. We have enough bars up here. I'm a preacher, so you know. We have enough bars up here, but we don't need no brothels.
Amen.
Wow.
Now you say, Pastor, how you know that there's a brothel in Portchester? I was going to the bagel shop on Irving on Sunday morning before I come to church. And the gentleman running out of a storefront door with his clothes and shoes in his hand. So I don't know what's going on. I want to know if the man is all right. So I happened to knock on the door. You know, they got that bell you ring. Listen, y'all, this is serious. This is serious. Now, they have two of them up here. And we got children around here. We got new buildings coming up. Right across the street from the new building. They got a brothel. Right next door to the liquor store. You know that check cashing place that was there? Brothel there. And over by the bagel shop, oh, what's it, Irving? Right 2 doors down from the bagel shop. If we allow them to start this,
That's right.
we're gonna run into a big problem.
That's right.
So, you know, our law enforcement needs to pay more attention. I'm not saying they're not, but they need to pay more attention to what's going on in this village. Because we having a lot of people come into Portchester now.
And so we need to care for our children. We got a lot of children here. Okay, so we want to thank the mayor. We want to thank the trustee board for coming again. And I thank God for all of you. My wife made her transition today. She's no longer with us here. She's with the Lord. And we ask for your prayers and your strength for the family. Thank you, Greg. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, brother.
Thank you.
My condolences to being
Thank you. Thank you.
So going back to those places you mentioned, good thing the police is here, or the police here. I'm pretty sure they're working on your case.
Okay. Well, okay, no,
No, I
this is a
understand, but I
community
just wanted to-
meeting, so I just wanted to bring that up so that
It's
we're
not
aware of
easy,
these
right.
things.
It's not easy to go, knock the door and close it down, right? Take steps and steps, and they're working. I'm very
Okay.
confident it
Thank
will
you.
happen soon.
Thank you.
Thank you again. Thank you, good job.